1-0, and that top of the lineup dynamic.
This offense for Texas has been one of the top offenses all season long, and a lot of it has to do with the top half of their order. You look 1 through 4 in the order, all of them batting over 400, 10 hits combined from 1 through 4 in this Longhorns lineup.
Ashley Maloney swings at the first pitch and sends it out of play for strike one. She leads the team with 78 hits on the season, had 3 yesterday in the opener against Eastern Illinois. Texas second in Division I in batting average at .358. By the way, this is the last time I think I could say this in the next few minutes. It is not quite 90 degrees, but it soon will be here in Austin at first pitch. There's a strike, and once again, Lauren Durkowski throwing strikes.
That was one of the things she did so well in yesterday's ball game against UCF. It felt like the UCF batters were falling behind in the count, 0-1, 0-2, practically every single at bat when they were facing Durkowski.
Maloney sends it out of play. 79% of her pitches thrown for strikes yesterday.
And it wasn't just one pitch either. The curveball was going in there for strikes. The rise ball was going in there for strikes. The changeup especially was being pumped in there for strikes. You almost have to go up there and look for one of those pitches because you know that she's going to bring them right on in there.
Another 0-2. And Maloney, another good at-bat from Ashton Maloney. 79th hit of the season. She had fallen behind, but she's a good 2-strike hitter, and she gets things started against Michigan.
When you get ahead in the count, that's when you can start to get batters to swing at a bunch of different pitches, and all 4 of her strikeouts yesterday came off of the changeup. She was able to get ahead and then drop in this changeup, even throwing 3 changeups in a row and a strikeout to Izzy Mertes to end the ball game yesterday.
So they have just called Ashton Maloney out. She made her way down the first base, and the umpires, our plate umpire today, Chelsea Clark, came back from behind the plate and gave the out signal, so we'll backtrack and see what happened here.
And now the important part here too is that she was in a 2-strike count, so let's see where that left foot is when it crosses, when she makes contact, just barely out of the box, not by a lot, but since she had 2 strikes, that's where it goes down as an out. You don't see that called too often. We haven't seen that called very often all year long, really. That might be one of the first times that I've seen it called all year.
That's why Madison Shipman, back in her playing days, not that you stepped out of the box often, you would, if you were a slapper, you would have wiped out that chalk
for sure,
line
absolutely.
So it's nice and sharp right now. Henry's playing well. That's a popped up bunt. And they say she held on to it long enough. Lily Valamont back behind the plate for an out, 2 away.
We saw Kate Henry lay down a bunt in yesterday's ball game as well, just gets a little bit too far underneath it on this bunt.
So officially on the scorecard, it's very busy so far for Lily Valamont because the first out goes down as 2 unassisted with Maloney being out of the box, and now Henry with the pop-up at the plate. And now bring up Mia Scott. Scott at a team best 436 on the season, first team all-conference selection in the SEC. In on the hands, it's going to drop in just barely. I think that is a short hop, and Scott, big turn at first base. Good effort by Ellie Sealer on the backhand, but looked pretty clear that hit the turf, although we're going to have a little conversation here from Bonnie Thole, the Michigan head coach.
Yeah, Ellie Sealer trying to sell it on this one. Definitely looks like it hits the ground. Yeah, for sure hits the ground before it goes into her glove. Like the effort, though, going up, showing the glove to see if she could get the call on that one.
So Bonnie Thole came out to talk to the home plate umpire. Sometimes it's just buying a little time to get the word from the dugout whether to use one of your 2 challenges. Here is Reese Atwood. Another first pitch strike from Durkowski, something she made a habit of doing yesterday in the win against UCF. Atwood 4 for 4, 5 runs batted in the win yesterday, raising her career RBI total to a program record 209. Popped up, shallow center field, Janisa Conway under it. And that will do it for Texas in the top half of the first. Michigan coming to the plate when we come back. The automatic Burt. So interesting defense here for Texas against Indy Langford.
Yeah, Indiana Langford is one of those triple threat lefties. She'll drop a bunch, she'll slap in, she'll hit away. So they're bringing in that right fielder into the infield, shifted towards the left side of the infield especially. And with that, Tegan Cavan looks like she's going to stay on the outside part of the plate to try to funnel that ball to the left side of the field.
Langford leading the team in hitting at .404, was 0 for 2 with a walk in game 1 of the tournament. There's a strike. 2-1 from Tegan Cavan. Madison talked about it at the top. Struggles for Cavan lately. Her last 5 appearances, 14 innings pitched. She's given up 21 earned runs. What does she have here today? She's down in the count 3-1.
See her continuing to work that rise ball on the outer half. One of the things I'm going to be tracking is the location of that rise ball. She does throw it on different planes, but you like to see that late bite up in the zone that she has with that tight spin along with the velocity working up and outside of the strike zone.
Swing and a miss by Langford. The count goes full to 3-2.
Prime example on that pitch right there. You could see where Langford, where her barrel was swinging underneath that pitch. That tells me that it's got good jump up in the zone.
Langford gets a piece. Langford, first team selection in the Big Ten this season. Real strong season, a bounce back season, hit .283 last year, comes in above .400 here on day 2 of the NCAA tournament. Another 3-2 from Cavan. This is what both leadoff hitters do so well for these two teams. They'll foul off a bunch of pitches, they'll see a lot of pitches, and as a result, their teammates see a lot of what the pitchers in the circle on the other team have to offer.
Especially when you get into a 2-strike count, you want to try to battle, be as productive as you possibly can. Yes, you want to hit, but you want to make the pitcher work out there in the first batter of the ball game.
8th pitch of the at-bat, and it's a leadoff walk for Langford.
To the ones who carry us. Kate Spade.
Lạm phát đã hạn chế những gì quý vị muốn mua ở chợ. Asiva có chương trình giúp quý vị nhận được một.
When Tegan Cavan's at her best, she's able to tunnel a couple of different pitches. She's well known for that rise ball. That's the pitch that we've been talking about, but she'll also work the drop ball in the bottom part of the zone, and what makes it so effective to batters is coming out of the hand looks like the same pitch, and by the time you decide to swing, that's when you realize, does it have the downward spin, does it have the upspin, because both of them are coming in about 69 to 70 miles per hour.
Conway swings at the first pitch and skies it to center field. That's where Caden Henry is to put it away for out number 1. So the dangerous Conway is retired, leading the team in home runs and RBI.
You're going to see a lot of those fly ball outs along with the swing and miss on both the changeup and the rise ball. That rise ball, drop ball combination, but because of the velocity that she brings consistently, that's where she gets batters to make really quick decisions because of how fast it's getting on them.
Strike 1 to the freshman. Lauren Putz 2 for 3 with a home run, couple of RBI. That big hit in the 6th inning yesterday to put Michigan in front against UCF. Her 14th home run of the season. Impact freshman for this Michigan team. Down to the count 0-2. Cavan with 188 strikeouts and 151 innings of work. That misses for a ball. It's 1-2. Two and two.
It's a good spot in a 2-strike count, especially against somebody like Putz that has so much pop up at the plate. Working a little bit of run on that rise ball too, so it's going to run away from the barrel of the lefties.
Putz second on this Michigan team in hitting on the season, and this is blooped out to center field, and they'll drop in for another hit. The 3rd of the tournament for the freshman, and Michigan has 2 on with 1 out here in the first.
After that rise ball away, Tegan Cavan comes back with a pitch low and inside. This is another one of those rise balls. Looked like it was supposed to be in tighter on the hands, but because of that last minute run on it, that's where Putz is able to get just a little bit of barrel, enough to drive it and drop it out into center field.
Now bring up the sophomore right fielder, Ella Stevenson, who hit a home run yesterday. Takes ball 1 from Cavan. Stevenson at .344 on the season. 2 for 3 yesterday with that homer.
That home run that Stevenson hit yesterday was on a rise ball that was practically at the bill of her helmet. She took a big hack at a pitch up in the zone.
And the wind is blowing out to left, about 10 miles an hour, so it's a little brisk. Could help the hitters here today. 2-1, very warm day. So you think on a day like today, the ball would carry a little bit farther as well, as the temps will climb into the 90s. 1-2 pitch. That's going to be out of play. Michigan as a team with 66 home runs on the season. Stevenson with 9 of them after this swing yesterday.
You see just how high up in the zone this rise ball from Isa Vega out there in the circle, tailing away from her a little bit, gets barrel around it and smokes it out to left field.
Cavan runs inside to get the strikeout, 2 down.
That last pitch right there looks like the first drop ball that we have seen from Tegan Cavan in this game. 71 miles per hour, and again, you're geared up for that high velocity, but you're anticipating that the pitch is going to work up in the zone, and instead it works down on the zone. Great depth on that drop ball, and the first strikeout of the day for Cavan.
Here's Lily Valamont. Takes ball 1. Valamont, sophomore from Trenton, Michigan, 2-year starter at the catcher's position. 0 for 3 yesterday in game 1 of the Austin Regional. 2-0. Well, if you're Michigan, you want to do all you can to make Cavan work here in the heat. Obviously, Texas used to the heat. This is extreme for May. All the Texans told us it's not normally like this in May. This is 10 to 15 degrees hotter than what they normally have this time of year.
Well, it was even hotter earlier this week, up over 100. Oh, there it is. It just keeps on moving to the right.
That's our in the sun temp down by the Michigan. We have two temp gauges. This is going to be a bloop back behind third base. Here comes Langford around to score, and Michigan gets the first run of the game. Valamont's first hit of the tournament, a 2-out single, 1-0 Wolverines.
Not a ton of hard contact from Michigan in this inning, but they're doing whatever they can to get enough barrel on these pitches to find space out in the grass. And Valamont, this is a rise ball in on the hand. She gets jammed up on it, but she gets that last bit of extension there to drop it over the head of Mia Scott at third base and out into left field to give the Wolverines the lead in the bottom of the first.
Michigan has been just a great 2-out hitting team. 4 of their 5 runs in the tournament so far have come with 2 outs.
And a lot of it, I believe, has to do with their process-oriented mindset, sticking to the process, not letting the moment get too big for them, not going for the home run when they step up to the batter's box, but truly thinking one pitch and one game at a time.
Bonnie Thole's team didn't have a lead in game 1 until the 6th inning. Yesterday, they get a lead here in the first inning, playing at Texas today.
Coach said that was part of the mindset, too, going into that Big Ten tournament. A one-game season. You're just focusing on the opponent at hand.
2-0.
Not thinking about the next day, not thinking about the next game, but just executing the game plan, passing the bat along when you're up to the plate, and just finding a way to get the...
Senior Ellie Sealer at the plate, 0 for 3 yesterday. 2-1, swinging at the 2-0, taking a big cut. Cavan's last outing was at the SEC tournament in Athens against Ole Miss. Texas had comfortable lead in that game, but then Ole Miss went to work against Cavan. That's popped up and out of play. Ended up giving up 6 earned runs, but as you touched on before, it wasn't like there was a ton of hard contact. We've even seen that today, but give Ole Miss credit. They strung together a bunch of hits, and it turned out to be a 1-run win for Texas.
And they did come through with the big hits when they needed them, but to your point, Eric, a lot of ground balls that were hit off the handle of the bat, even some fly balls that found space.
Devon gets the strikeout to retire the side, but Michigan breaks through in the first. They have a 1-0 lead after 1 in Austin. Of course, on day one, you get those 1-4 matchups. We had it here where there was a run rule, and when you get to day 2 and you get to those elimination games, anything can happen. And that's what makes Saturday so exciting. Wall-to-wall softball at all 16 sites. That is crushed to left. Over everything, Katie Stewart ties it at 1.
Katie Stewart has one of those swings where it's just effortless power. The way that the ball comes off of the bat, she hit a couple yesterday that were 70+ miles per hour off of the bat, and she got every bit of that pitch and then some. This is a 1-0 count, so she is ready to swing. Looks like a rise ball up and inside. Try to tie her up on the hands. She knows it immediately as soon as that ball leaves her bat that thing is heading towards the building out beyond the left field wall.
I thought the windows on the first floor were in jeopardy, and we just got the tail of the tape, Madison. 269 feet.
A moonshot, an absolute moonshot off of the bat of Katie Stewart.
14th of the season for the sophomore. Jolie Mitchell with a ground ball to Maddie Erickson at third. Low throw handled by Maddie Rainey. Did we catch the building here? It went over the horn blowers and left.
Does it hit the building?
No.
Oh, almost got a car. Yeah, it's a one-hopper off the building. That's what we're going to call that one.
Oh, here we go. Oh, look out. Moving traffic. Yeah, that's...
right into the plants.
Yeah,
one hop off the brick.
Yep. Respect the landscaping, sir.
I don't think she needed any wind to assist her on that one.
If the wind was blowing in, that thing was still going to travel. All right.
Now you got the ball.
Katie Simmons at the plate for Texas with 1 down. Home run number 74 for Texas as a team this season. Stewart goes deep for a 14th time. She had 13 home runs last season as a freshman. Simmons out of play. It's 1-2.
I like the aggressiveness, too, by Katie Stewart, knowing that Dorkowski has been pumping in strikes. She fell behind 1-0, so it almost looked like she was being even more aggressive in that hitter's count. Got something that she could get barrel on, and she sure did.
You see hitting coach Steve Singleton in the background there, shouting some instructions to Simmons. Whatever he said worked out. This is hit well, but it's going to be caught by the right fielder Stevenson, 2 down. As we mentioned, outstanding hitting team, Madison, second in Division I in average at 358, 74 home runs, 1 through 6 in this lineup. Yesterday against Eastern Illinois, 13 of 19 with 9 runs scored and 9 runs batted in.
So much depth in this order, too, but you see a lot of speed, a lot of power, a lot of consistency. Somebody like Mia Scott, who seems like she never strikes out up at the plate. Just 7 strikeouts for Mia Scott on the season. It's just such a tough lineup to navigate. And with the different swings in there, too, you've got some swings that are tailor-made for pitches up in the zone. You've got some swings that are really good at pitches down in the zone. Then you have somebody like Reese Atwood, who seems to come through in the clutch for this team whenever they need a big hit.
Here's Leanne Good. Hard shots. Foul. This will be a big plus for Texas, too, to help when it comes to offense. The pitching staff that's trying to find their way a little bit here in the NCAA tournament. I think that's the best way to put it.
And when the offense is putting up runs, you know that gives your pitching staff a ton of confidence.
And if Mike White's able to get something from the bottom third of this lineup and turn that lineup over to Maloney and Henry and Scotts, Texas would be pretty unstoppable at the plate. And it just feels like they're going to need to score a lot of runs here if they're going to.
Everybody fired up, whoever's sitting around her, getting ready to go to watch the softball game.
Swinging at the first pitch and popping it out to left field is Maddie Erickson. Quickly, one down here in the second. If I asked you, Madison Shipman, who will be raising the trophy in Oklahoma City at the end of the Champ Series this year, I don't know if you could narrow it down to how many teams could you narrow it down to right now? 7, 8?
Yeah, but I think that's what makes it so exciting. Yeah. There just seems to be so much parity in the game this year, even looking at how many different number one ranked teams we've seen throughout the regular season. 4 different teams ranked number one at different points in the season. Texas being one of those teams, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Tennessee. Just feels like on any given weekend, it could be anybody's ball game, and that's what makes it so much fun once we get to the postseason. What sort of fireworks are we going to see? What sort of stars are going to emerge in the postseason? I still think it's going to come down to who has the hot hand in the circle.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look at Texas. If they can get their pitching to match their hitting, that's a team you could say, well, they're going to go back to the Champ Series for a third time in the last 4 years. Oklahoma has been one of the top stories all year long. So many new faces on that team, but they have just reloaded. I mean, I looked at that LSU team like, oh, that's a team. They've got the pitching and the hitting, and then they get stunned in game number 1 of the NCAA tournament. Double elimination, of course, but so much can happen when you get to this point of so many teams being so equally matched. Kavan gets the strikeout. Ramey retired, 2 down.
Back-to-back changeups there from Tegan Kavan. You're just seeing the depth that she has on that pitch, and you're geared up for 70-plus miles per hour when she's dropping this one in at 57, and the way that she's able to locate it in the bottom part of the zone. There might be a part of you as a hitter that thinks maybe that's the drop ball that's coming out, and by the time you decide to swing, you're well out in front of that off speed.
Here's the number 9 hitter, shortstop Avery Fantucci, making her 9th straight start at shortstop. That was a change for Michigan. They had Ella McVeigh at short, and they just needed to tighten things up defensively. It's a good defensive team, Michigan Wolverines, and Fantucci has been a plus at shortstop. Team 13th in Division I when it comes to fielding percentage, and Fantucci has given them the range, given them a little arm, and really anything she can provide at the plate would be a bonus right now.
We saw that defense come up big even in yesterday's ball game too, even going back to the Big Ten tournament. A lot of diving catches that were made by this Michigan defense. Yesterday it was Janisa Conway throwing out somebody at the plate from center field. Just those little things that add up to big moments when it comes time for regionals.
Two and one to count to the number 9 hitter, Fantucci. Kavan struck out 2 in the first. She has a strikeout here in the second. That's popped up. Jolie Mitchell will backtrack and put it away. A 1-2-3 inning on just 10 pitches for Tegan Kavan. We're even at 1 here in Austin.
It's a lot of belief in what they can do out there on the field, and they bring experience because they've been there before. They know what it takes to make it through regionals, to get to super regionals and advance all the way to that championship series.
You can see Mike sweating, standing in the heat. They had to sweat it out last year in that super regional round against Texas A&M to make it to Oklahoma City. That slapped foul by Katie Bennett leading off the third here for Texas. But like you mentioned before, at this time of year, you get a team that it just starts to click. You build some momentum. It's what's happening with Michigan in the postseason as they made their run going 4-0 in the Big Ten tournament and picked up a win, knocking off UCF in game 1 here of the NCAA tournament. You get that run going, how long can you sustain it is the question.
And Michigan was the 8th seed going into that Big Ten tournament last week. What was really impressive about a couple of those wins, too, they shut out Oregon and they shut out UCLA, and both of those teams had swept Michigan earlier in the season. And it's really difficult to have to play a team 4 different times within the year, but then to go out there and shut out both of those teams that have very good offenses just shows you what type of softball Michigan's been playing. Netting and the pole, too.
It's just next level analysis on foul ball catching by Madison Shipman. That's going to take a funny bounce and go off the shoulder of Erickson. So Bennett's going to be safe leading off for Texas here in the third.
Katie Bennett had some struggles towards the end of the regular season, but she's been doing a nice job of putting the ball in play and making things happen. And you're right, Eric, it's this second hop that just rolls up a little bit on Maddie Erickson. She gets kind of caught in between on that mid-hop. And that misplay allows Bennett to reach base safely and now flips it over to the top of the Texas order.
For Ashton Maloney, it has scored an error on Erickson at third. First error of the tournament committed by the Michigan defense. Just to clear up from the first inning, Maloney, it goes into the books as a strikeout because she stepped out of the box with 2 strikes. So it was not 2 unassisted, it was a strikeout for Lauren Drakowski. There goes the runner. The throw was on the shortstop side, but a good tag by Fantucci with the reach. Let's see if Bennett is going to leave the bag. Yeah, she will. I think there's going to be a challenge here. Mike White just checking to see if there should be. And we'll play on.
9 stolen bases on the season for Bennett before this one. Looks like a really nice tag by Fantucci, too. Definitely no obstruction on that play. Swipes the hand down. Does she get the tag there? It was very close at second base.
Maloney with foul tip. One, two to Maloney. Lays off. Check swing. Let's go back to that play. Is this worth a challenge here on this caught stealing?
Yeah, I want to take another look at it here. Smart by Bennett to go to the backside of the base. No, I think she gets it right on the top of the hand. I think that's a great call.
Jim Bertuzzi, our umpire at second base. Maloney with a little tap to second, and with her speed, she's going to beat it out. Langford tried to get there, but Ashton Maloney is halfway down the line in a blink.
And with a slapper up, too, you're going to almost anticipate that that ball is going to be hit to the left side of the infield. But when there's an off-speed pitch that comes in, that's where the slappers can adjust, get their barrel around those pitches just a little bit more. And because she pulls it to the right side, not much that Indy Langford can do on that with the speed of Maloney.
So officially now her 79th hit. Looked like she had it leading off the first inning for Texas. What was called out? Here's Caden Henry. Popped out to the catcher her first time. Ball one. Henry, second team all-conference selection in the SEC. 70 hits on the season, so trying to keep up with Maloney. Well, that's hard to do. This is hit well to left, and it is carrying, drifting back to Sealer. Track, wall, off her glove. Maloney had to hold up. She'll be held at third base. And into second is Henry with a double. Second and third, one out for the Longhorns.
The versatility of Caden Henry up at the plate. We've seen her drop a bunt in this regional, but she's also got a lot of pop in her bat. This is the 10th double on the season for Caden Henry. A rise ball up and away. She gets barrel underneath this one, and it's the backspin that she's able to create on this fly ball out to left field that allows it to keep on carrying all the way out to the wall. Just over the head of Sealer in left field, bounces off the wall. Good backup there by Janisa Conway to be there when that ball bounced off of the wall. But now 2 runners over in scoring position for the Longhorns with just 1 away.
That backup by Conway prevented a run from scoring for Texas because Mike White saw that. He held the runner at third, Maloney. So second and third, And conversation in the circle as Bonnie Thole has gone out to talk to her. Scott singled in the first. 2-0. He has been a doubles machine in her career, 55 career doubles for the senior. Two-0. There's a strike, it's 2-1. In on the hands, popped up, foul ground, drifting over is Erickson. Big out for Jerkowski in Michigan, 2 down.
Using that effective velocity too with that changeup that she pumped in the 2-0 count to get the first strike of the at-bat, and then works that rise ball, that high velocity rise ball in on the hands. Mia Scott tries to go after it, but gets jammed up, and a fly ball in foul territory, now 2 away.
Reese Atwood hitting .455 with runners in scoring position this year, steps in with 2 down and runners on second and third, and takes ball 1. Atwood flied out to center her first time.
She watched a changeup go by in that first at bat for a strike. Almost looked like maybe she would have wanted to go after that pitch. I wonder if this is a situation where she might go up there and sit an off speed.
Jerkowski brings the heat, but it's out of the zone, and it's 2-0. Now the question is here for Michigan, you have first base empty, you have one of the most clutch hitters in the country in Reese Atwood at the plate, but on deck is Katie Stewart, who hit a 269-foot home run in her first at-bat. There's the off-speed in there for a strike. It's 2-1.
Now 2 batters in a row where she's pumped in that changeup on a 2-0 count, on a hitter's count, anticipating maybe they're gearing up for the fastball or for those high-velocity rise balls. We've only made it to the 3rd inning, and I'm already talking about sitting changeups.
Usually you wait till the 5th inning for that, but what will Jerkowski bring on the 2-1? She brought something Atwood wanted to swing at. It's a fly ball. It is out of here! Reese Atwood delivers again. 3-run home run, and Texas takes the lead.
Reese Atwood is batting over .450 with runners in scoring position for a reason. Go ahead and up that batting average again. This is supposed to be a curveball on the outside part of the plate, 70 miles per hour in on the hands, and she is ready for it. Gets good barrel on it on time and drives it out to center field for a 3-run shot to add to the tally on the season for Reese Atwood.
That tally now up to 18. RBI tally up to 79. 8 runs batted in already here in the Austin Regional, and it's 4-1 Longhorns. Stewart goes deep again.
Talk about executing a game plan to a T. Her last at-bat, she hit a rise ball out of the ballpark. What does she do first pitch of this at-bat? She sits changeup. She gets one. It's in there for a strike, and she pulls it again out to left field. Another no-doubter off of the bat of Katie Stewart. Her 2nd home run in this game. And it might have been another one that one hopped off of the building out in left field.
Now trying to play a little small ball is Mitchell, and she's tagged out to retire the side. The measurement on the 2nd Stewart home run, the same as the first, 269 feet, 5-1. Practice, target practice. That is slapped foul by Langford, leading things off here for Michigan, reeling a bit as they bat here in the bottom half of the third inning against Tegan Cavan. Hot day, breeze blowing out to left, and elite lineup. That is a combination that's tough to beat. Oh, Langford lays down the bunt, and it's thrown down the right field line, and there's nobody in right field because of the shift. Langford at second, heading to third, being waved around. Here she comes. Here's the throw. She is safe. Conway again swings at the first pitch, misses for strike one. One 1. Well, what we've learned so far today in game 1 of 3, there are different ways to round the bases here in the Austin region. You can, like we saw for Stewart, make a swing, know the second it leaves the bat that it's gone. This one's going to carry. Remember, the wind is blowing out to left, and that is gone. Janisa Conway. The launching pad is open in Austin.
This is really smart hitting by Janisa Conway. She was way out in front on the first swing of this at-bat at a changeup. Tegan Cavan comes back with a changeup in the dirt, and it looked like she flipped her game plan to go back to that high-velocity rise ball. She gets it. She's on time for it and gets that backspin and that carry out to the left center gap. And just like that, first 2 batters here in the bottom of the third inning, and 2 more runs on the board for Michigan.
You could tell by Conway's reaction, too. I mean, she was running hard out of the box like, well, this may be a fly ball that goes deep to the wall, but it cleared the wall by plenty, just getting an idea how it's carrying here in Austin.
And that's where, as a batter, too, you can use the velocity that Cavan brings on her pitches to your advantage. You don't have to overswing to try to drive it out of the ballpark, but you can use that velocity to drive it out and get the carry, and she sure did for her 18th home run on the season.
Here's Lauren Putz, who singled her first time. Takes strike one. So after back-to-back runs, conversation in the circle for Texas to try to settle things down for the Longhorns here after they took a 5-1 lead.
I'd imagine, too, that conversation might be just with the way that the ball is carrying on those rise balls to try to pump in some more drop balls. And the first 2 pitches of this at-bat have both been those high-velocity drops.
Two and one. For Conway, her team best 18th home run of the season, team best 51st RBI, her second hit of the series. Both have been for extra base hits, double yesterday in game 1 of the regional. Fouled off, and it's 2 and 2. This combination, this is the Smash Sisters of the Michigan lineup.
See, between Putz and Conway, 380 batting average, 32 home runs on the season. The rest of the team with 35 home runs combined.
Just getting a piece of it at the plate, and we'll do the 2-2 again. Nasty. Cavan gets the strikeout. One away here in the third.
Another swing and miss at the changeup so far. Cavan with 4 strikeouts. 3 of those have come off of the changeup, and especially in this at-bat to Lauren Putz. With the way that changeup tunnels off of the drop ball, they have similar spins on them, and they move in a similar direction, and she's way out in front on that swing.
Ella Stevenson was the first of 4 strikeout victims for Michigan here today against Cavan. 2-0. Activity in the Texas pen as Lali Gutierrez gets loose.
Sitlali got the start in yesterday's game against Eastern Illinois.
On a day where the temperature is going to continue to creep up to the mid-90s, forecast high 96 today. It's going to be challenging, 110 in the sun on the field right now. It's in there for a strike, 3-1. Fouled off, and the count is now full. Kavan last year in the NCAAs made 6 appearances, 5 starts, 3-1 with a sub-3 earned run average, 34 strikeouts and 29 innings of work. And opponents hit just 163 against her. Again, swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts, 2 down. The WNBA begins their 29th season, and we'll have Caitlin Clark and the Fever hosting Angel Reese in the Sky. It's today at 3 Eastern Time on ABC, ESPN Plus, and Disney Plus. Two down here in the bottom of the third. Remember, Michigan, the home team. Texas, the visitors here in Game 3 of this Austin Regional. And a swing and a miss for Valamon, who singled in a run in the first. Oh, and 2.
Back-to-back drop balls, too. She's been locating that pitch very well. One of the pitches Coach Mike White talked to us about as well, that she needs to be able to locate it in the bottom part of that strike zone.
Grounded wide of third. That's foul ball.
At times when Kavan's missing too far low in the zone with the drop ball, those are the times where batters go up to the plate, not even worrying about that pitch if she's not able to throw it in there consistently for strikes. But today, it's been a very effective pitch for her.
Another 0-2. Another foul ball.
And another drop ball in this at-bat, too, working both sides of the plate, too.
Good battle by Valamon at the plate. Has spoiled a couple of good pitches. Ball 1.
Really good at bat here by Valamon. She got that base hit back in the first inning, and it was on a rise ball that got in on her hands. And so far in this at bat, everything has been in the low part of the zone.
Kavan now up over 60 pitches as she works here in the third inning. And asks for time with the pitch clock winding down to make sure she's on the same page. Swung on and missed. 3 strikeouts in a row for Tegan. Pitching change, so he's got some work to do, although his staff was handling things while we were getting him on the headset. And Emerson Aiken is into the circle now, the senior for Michigan.
Going to be a little bit of a different look and an adjustment with the timing for the Longhorns going up against Emerson Aiken. She's going to bring the ball more in the low 60s. That one coming in at 64 miles per hour.
So it's a hot day. Durkowski threw 61 pitches yesterday, made 2 appearances yesterday in the victory for Michigan. Got the start. Hain came in got the win, the save. Aiken did not make an appearance in the Big Ten tournament, so she's making her first postseason appearance of 2025 here for the Wolverines. And just her 6th appearance of the season. Be interesting to see how Bonnie Thole is playing things out here. Does she want Aiken to try to buy a few pitches here and a couple of outs with the bottom third of the Texas lineup? And it starts with a 4-pitch walk to Katie Simmons. So not off to a good start for Michigan here.
And because Michigan's combination of using Durkowski and Hain within the same ball game has been their go-to plan, and now bringing in Emerson Aiken to see what she can do. Maybe she can get them to mishit some of these balls, but she's got to be able to throw strikes in there against this Texas lineup.
Feels like they're trying to get a bridge to Hain in that 5th inning, right? Here we are in the 4th. Hain might be a little early. This is not an elimination game, but you want to just do all you can to get to that 2-0 record. But right now, Hain is in the dugout and not in the bullpen.
Lily Valamont coming out to call time just to chat with Emerson Aiken after 6 balls in a row now. Also, pitching coach Jen Brundage going to
by committee to try to get Michigan's a fly ball foul ground. Long run for the right fielder. Stevenson can't get there. It's 2-1 now to Leanne Good.
Now, yesterday was the first time in this postseason that Durkowski has re-entered back into the game that she has started. It just came in for those 3 pitches. 3 pitches, 3 straight changeups, and
ball
the 4th
over.
strikeout of the game. Her line today, 46 pitches in those 3 innings, 5 earned runs, just the 1 strikeout today.
Good lays down a beautiful bunt. Everyone's going to be safe. Longhorns can play a little small ball. We know they can hit the long ball, whatever it takes to turn that lineup over.
Great execution of this bunt, too, to be able to get it right off of the end of the bat. You see how the corners are playing a little bit deep. Deadens it right in front of
Simmons. Well, I think on closer review, it did look like it hit her pinky,
yes.
But so good challenge by Bonnie Thole, and then all of a sudden it's a hard hit to right. So a pinch runner here for Texas, as Adea Wallace will come on and run for Simmons.
And if you're Leanne Good, you're going to take the base hit, right? So the same result, still 2 runners on board with nobody away.
I think Leanne knew, too, because she hustled back. You know, she was in that headspace of like, well, I'm going to have to go back here because I think they're going to get it. In Pittsburgh, so you turn it around. I did not see that.
Yeah, I didn't see it initially, just that pinky, though. Yeah, I thought that was just the spin in the direction of the ball kicking off of the dirt, but it did hit that pinky.
Strike 1 to Bennett with 2 on and nobody out here in the 4th. And one thing that lengthy review helped perhaps is just Aiken to take a moment on this hot day. That's in the dirt. Texas had a little trouble on the base pass yesterday in round 1. And it looked for a moment like Leanne Good was ready to take second base, but Wallace in front of her wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, a little bit of indecision on the base paths for the Longhorns yesterday. Getting caught in between, getting caught in rundowns.
Bennett popped it up. This is going to be close, and it's into the stands. 1-2 to Bennett, who reached on an error and was caught stealing in the 3rd. First 2 aboard for Texas here in the 4th. Simmons with the walk, Good with the single. 1-2 to Bennett. Emerson Aiken ready with the 2-2. Hit deep to right. That one is gone! Texas home run. 3-run shot. Katie Bennett, just her second home run of the season. And the Longhorns are up by 5.
It just feels like every single part of this Texas offense is firing on all cylinders. Katie Bennett, who we saw slapping earlier today with that error over at third base, slapped earlier in this at bat and decides to go up there and just crushes this pitch, turns on it and drives it, uses her legs and drives that ball out to right field. A 3-run shot, and now the Longhorns have the 8-3 lead.
This is out in front of the plate. 3 Wolverines converge on it, but no one can make a play to get the speedy Maloney, who's aboard for the second time today.
Another really nice bunt that's laid down by Texas, too, and especially right after that home run. That's the combination of the long ball and the small ball that you're going to see throughout this Longhorns lineup.
And it's just keeping pressure on. That's what they want to do. They just want to keep the pressure turned up at the plate, and that's what they're doing right now. Strike 1 to Caden Henry. Oh, and 2 to Henry. Popped out in the first, doubled and scored in the third. That is Katie Bennett's first home run this season since March 8th against Merrimack. She's someone who struggled through an 0 for 29 slump late in the season. That slump didn't end until the final series of the regular season against Kentucky. Henry, 1 hop to Langford, the backhand over to second. A little bit of a bobble there, and out is called. Mike White has stepped onto the field, and the second base umpire says on the transfer.
That's to look to secure it in the glove, I think, is what made it look like she might not have had control of it while her foot was on the base, but just hard to tell in those replays.
Another one where if it was called safe at the base and then Michigan challenged it, was there enough to say, well, we're going to overturn it? And no, we play on. Calls upheld. 1 out. There goes the runner. The throw is not in time, and it's a stolen base for Caden Henry. That is her 30th stolen base of the season in 31 attempts.
Taking off on the changeup, too, with that off speed, gives her just a little bit more time. Taking off from first base, and she makes that one in plenty of time, down to 2.
Scott slaps it foul, and she's down in the count 1-2. Scott singled into first, fouled out in the third. 2 hits in the regional. And as Madison has mentioned, just 7 strikeouts total this season after just 11 last year.
And foul ball almost trying to work its way into the booth, but one of the interesting things when I'm looking at the way that the outfield defense is lined up, especially against Mia Scott, left fielder Ellie Sealer is a little bit tighter towards that left field line, and Mia Scott will drive that ball into the left center gap, but she's shaded to the...
After her, Scott rolls it over right side, tough play, and Scott will beat it out. Here comes the runner home. Great hustle play by Henry, who did not hesitate and scored. Texas on top 9-3.
A slow developing ground ball over to the right side off of the bat of Mia Scott, pulls it over to third base. First base. Maddie Ramey playing first base, goes to charge it, gets caught in between on that mid-hop. But look at the way that Caden Henry does not stop as she rounds third base, taking advantage of that miscue over at first, and she's able to score from second.
Scored an error on Rainey down at first, no RBI. And here is Reese Atwood, who does not know what no RBI means. She's got 8 so far in this regional. And she's got another hit. Hard hit single to left, fielded by Sealer, and Atwood has her 2nd hit of the game and the 6th of this regional.
This feels like between Atwood and Katie Stewart, if you put it anywhere near the strike zone, they're going to hammer it. And this one's right down Main Street. And the way that Atwood's able to get her barrel on plane behind her, get the sweet spot of the barrel on that softball, and drive it with authority again out to the outfield.
Looks like we're going to have a pitching change here for Michigan before Katie Stewart can step in. And it's going to be Haley Ferguson who comes in. The freshman will step into the circle, and her assignment, try to keep Katie Stewart in the ballpark. Back to tell you about the new pitcher when we come back.
The ball extremely well in the postseason.
Both home runs calculated at 269 feet off the bat of Katie Stewart. So the freshman Haley Ferguson comes on now for Michigan to face Stewart.
Tough spot for the freshman to come into the ball game too, because you want to be able to throw strikes, you want to get ahead, but you know you can't miss too much over the heart of the plate with the way that Stewart has been swinging the bat.
Ball 1 to Katie Stewart, now with 15 home runs and 74 runs batted in on the season. The 1-0. 2-0. A lot of the talk when it comes to Stewart recently has been about the move she's made out of necessity to shortstop for this Texas team, making her 10th consecutive start at shortstop. But I think Katie today reminding everybody, let's forget about the glove for a second. I'm going to remind you what I can do with the bat.
Yeah, now 11 straight starts in a row for Katie Stewart over in that shortstop position.
I think they're too close to the wall.
I was going to say, you almost have to go back to the building if you want to try to catch one of these.
There, if you want to have a chance, if she's going to repeat history here. Although 3-0 pitch here, Michigan being very careful. She swung 3-1, 3-0.
Has the green light on the 3-0 count. Looked like that 62-mile-an-hour curveball away. Yeah, I think he's ready. He's ready for it.
It's going to have to be one-handed, apparently. Won't get the opportunity for Stewart. She walks, and that will load the bases here in the top half of the 4th inning for the Longhorns. Threat is not over, though, because Jolie Mitchell has gone yard 13 times this season, as Texas has sent everyone to the plate here in the 4th. Big rip by Mitchell for strike 1. Jolie 0 for 2 today, grounded to 3rd in the 2nd, grounded to 1st in the 3rd. Mitchell lifts one deep to right field. This one is going, and it is gone. 5th home run for the Longhorns today, and they are pulling away from Michigan. Grand slam, Jolie Mitchell.
The Longhorns' 5th home run of the day and the 14th home run on the season for Jolie Mitchell. Falls behind in this count, but goes after another pitch that's in the top part of the zone. Mitchell is one of those batters that likes to hang out in the front part of the box. On time for that pitch and smokes it out to right field for a grand slam to put the Longhorns up big. 13-3 now, their lead over Michigan.
14th home run of the season for Jolie Mitchell. That one was grand for the Longhorns, who are now up by 10 to their lead after Michigan had scored twice in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. 5 home runs for Texas today, 6 home runs combined for the two teams on a hot day where the breeze is blowing out here in Austin. Simmons puts it out of play. She started the inning with a walk and scored on the Bennett 3-run home run.
Texas had that run rule victory over Eastern Illinois yesterday, and they were hitting the ball really hard, but none of them left the ballpark. It's almost like they saved all the home runs up for today. Now that tally up to 5.
15 hits yesterday for the Longhorns in 5 innings. They have 11 hits in 4 innings so far today against Michigan. One and 2 the count to Simmons. Popped up, might be playable, going to be close, and reaching over the steps at that Michigan dugout, but not able to grab it are the Wolverines.
Some of the base hits they were hitting yesterday too were 70+ mile per hour off of the bat, hard off of the wall, almost hit it so hard off the wall that they couldn't advance to second base. I know Reese Atwood had one off of the wall. Katie Stewart had another one off of the wall.
Well, again, the offense, the difference maker for this Texas team, second in the country in hitting. And then when you look at a regional round in the heat, what this does is it most likely puts Tegan Kavan in the dugout for the rest of the game. You can go to your bullpen. You've got 10 runs to work with. You have to get 6 outs when you're thinking towards coming back tomorrow and playing for a regional championship. Simmons with a fly ball to Stevenson in right. 2 down. Do not miss a minute of the action from the NCAA Softball Regionals. We'll take you to the best live action on 7 Innings Live on the ESPN app. You can see every game, every big moment on the road to the Women's College World Series only on the ESPN network. They've got a lot to keep track of today. 16 sites, 3 games in each site, weather permitting. 48 games for the crew to keep track of. That is a big day of softball. Leanne Good. Fly ball, center field. That's back. That's deep. That is gone. Hitter's delight here in Austin. 6th home run for the Longhorns.
Sixth home run in the ball game, 7th home run in the season for Leanne Good this year. The Longhorns just crushing everything that they see. If it's anywhere close over the plate, they're being aggressive, and they are hammering it. This one up and outside, Good, perfectly on time for this one. A line drive shot out to center field, extends the Longhorns' lead.
Katie Bennett homered earlier this inning. That one is sent down to foul ground for strike 1.
Now, it was Ohio State yesterday that ended up hitting 6 home runs in their win, and now Texas has 6 home runs in this ballgame against Michigan.
You know, Texas and Ohio State are kicking off the football season in August against one another, so there's already a little rivalry piece going on in softball, which we're here for.
Who can hit the most home runs in a game?
It's been longer than a half hour for Tegan Kavan since she walked off the field. She's down in the bullpen for the moment, staying loose. She does have company down there.
Looks like Citlali Gutierrez is still down there in the bullpen getting loose as well. Sophia Simpson also getting loose.
Called strike 3. That will do it for Texas in what was a big inning for the Longhorns. They
Yeah, sometimes you take those chances too, and especially with Aiken coming in, dropping that velocity down more into the low, up to 64 miles per hour, which is a drastic change from what the Texas batters were seeing from Lauren Durkowski to start off the game. You're thinking that maybe you can get them to be off time, get them out in front on some of their swings, but Texas was able to adjust very quickly.
This is Bloop back behind shortstop. Tough play, diving play made by the left fielder Bennett. Stewart was going out as well. And this is a good start for Michigan as Sealer has a leadoff double for the Wolverines against Tegan Kavan, so she's still out there for Texas, as Mike White obviously thinks this game certainly not put away just yet. This was close to being a very dangerous play. Wow, so close.
Yeah, just narrowly missing a collision out there in left field. Both of them hustling hard to try to come up with this catch. It's just out of the reach of Katie Stewart. Bennett diving right underneath her. Looks like everybody's okay. One of those fly balls, too, that just seems to drop in the middle of nowhere. Both of them hustling all out to see if they could try to come up with that grab, but Sealer, too, smart base running, makes it all the way to second.
Maddie Erickson flied out her first time. 1-1. So officially, Kaman sat for 33 minutes during that Texas 9-run fourth inning. Called a strike, and it's 1-2.
And we were talking a little bit last inning about whether or not we might see Kavan come back into this ball game, or if they were going to make a pitching change for Texas. But I think there's something too, trying to get her back into a rhythm out there in the circle as well. And so far, that drop ball has been a big pitch for her, trying to be able to use that consistently to play off of the rise ball. When you think of Tegan Kavan, you think of the rise ball, but when she's pumping in this drop ball, coming in hard at 69, 70 miles per hour, you have to be aware of that pitch.
Remember, after giving up the home run to Conway in the third inning, she struck out 3 straight Wolverines and then gave up just the bloop double to Sealer to start the inning, and then back on the strikeout run, perhaps, with her 7th of the game as she pitches here in the fourth inning. Maddie Ramey struck out her first time. Skipped up, blocked by Atwood, but moving on to third is Sealer. Wild pitch. Winner of this game takes control of the Austin Regional. They will be 2-0 and play for a regional championship tomorrow here at McCombs Field. Loser has to hang around and play this evening in an elimination game against the winner of our next game between Eastern Illinois and UCF. Three and one. By the time this day is done, and the second pitcher is on for the Longhorns, Citlali Gutierrez, who got the start in game 1 of the regional yesterday.
That first pitch there is a great example of what you're going to see from Gutierrez. That drop ball of hers, high velocity again, 68 miles per hour on that pitch. That was a pitch that was an area of focus in her start yesterday against Eastern Illinois. Doesn't get the call on that one. Very close pitch. Even Reese Atwood turn around to check the swing on that one. I thought that was a pretty good location for that drop.
Fantucci 0 for 1 today. One and two the count to the junior shortstop. Gutierrez gets the strikeout. 2 down.
Those last two pitches are set up perfectly by the drop ball she was throwing earlier in the count, throwing the drop balls for strikes, and this one is one of her 2 different off speeds that she's going to throw back-to-back off-speed curveballs to get the strikeout of Fantucci.
Texas will go into the shift defensively, bringing an outfielder into the infield again for Indy Langford, who made Texas pay her last time up, singled in a throwing error, ended up down in the right field corner, and Langford was able to come all the way around to score.
She will swing away as well, had a big hit in that championship game against UCLA in the Big Ten tournament. Drove the ball out to left field, ended up taking second on a miscue out to left.
1-1. One and two. Tegan Caban responsible for the runner at first for the moment, 3 1/3, 6 hits, 4 runs. They were earned. A walk and 7 strikeouts on 73 pitches. Tapped foul.
And looking at her day, too, for Caban, I thought she was throwing some good pitches. I thought she had some really good movement on that rise ball, especially at the beginning of the game. That drop ball, again, that's a pitch that I do think is going to be a difference maker for her going through the postseason, being able to locate that one at the bottom part of the zone. And she even said that's a pitch that she's grown in confidence in this year.
It says tapped out to left, playing shallow over and left. And we are in run rule mode for the bottom half of the inning. If you're ahead by 8 after 5, ball game over. Another pitcher coming on. It's Regan Bennett for Michigan, who steps into the circle for the Wolverines. Fifth appearance this season for Bennett, as she works to the top of the order for Texas. Maloney leading things off for the Longhorns in the 5th.
She's going to bring that velocity back up into the high 60s. Saw 68 on those first 2 pitches. Pumps in 68 again there for a strike. You know, I like to use my context clues. I'm getting the feeling the crowd was not liking that call.
Have the horns been a little quieter today compared to yesterday? Do they not sound them because, you know, when you have 6 home runs?
Oh, right on cue.
Thank you, sir.
Heard you talking about it.
Swung on a miss. Strikeouts retires Maloney, 1 down here in the 5th inning. Don't miss a... Oh, wait, the Women's World Series, I meant to say, returns to Oklahoma City. Action begins Thursday, May 29th, noon Eastern Time, live on ESPN. For more information on the 2025 Women's College World Series, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. I think I was trying to say, don't miss a minute of the Women's College World Series this year. Don't miss a minute of the regionals, the super regionals.
I think it was the horn blowing right when you were talking about how we hadn't heard the horns that threw you off just a little bit.
When you get to that moment where you're like kind of bracing yourself for the horn to go off again, I think it's impacting just what I have to say.
A couple of quad horns out there that we saw yesterday. There it is.
The quad horn. We've seen all sorts of engineering marvels here. We've got the quad horn. We've got the air horn. We got multiple canisters, so you know you're here.
Extra batteries for the quad horn.
So we were watching this be put together before. You want to have the elevation on the umbrella so you don't trap the heat under, and so you have the extension stick, and you need something to balance the umbrella on. You can't just hold it in the air for that long.
Two different ropes to attach the umbrella to the walking stick. Taking turns on who's going to anchor that one down in the stands.
Teamwork on a hot day. Kane Henry swinging a miss for strike 1. Henry 1 for 3 today, has scored twice. Slapped off the glove of the third baseman Erickson into left. Henry digs around. Ball gets away, but she'll hold second base. Kaden Henry does not have slow or mid. She has all out all the time, and she's at second with one down.
And relies so much on her instincts on this play. This one's hit hard off of the bat. Watch how she's watching that ball the entire time, picks up speed after she rounds first base. Seeing that throw go into the cut gives her just that split second to be able to make it into second base on time.
Mia Scott takes ball one. Couple things Michigan's doing right now with an eye on coming back here about 6 o'clock Eastern time or so to play. They've made a change at second base, which has been common. Janella Lacqua has gone in as a defensive replacement. Changing catchers too, which is of note on such a hot day. So Ava Costales is back behind the plate for Lily Valamont. Michigan, for the moment, staying away from one of their top pitchers, Erin Hain. And Mia Scott takes a walk. So Scott's aboard, Henry at second, and here is Reese Atwood. Atwood flied out to center in the first, hit a 3-run home run in the third, singled and scored in the fourth. 2 for 3 today, 6 for 7 with 8 runs batted in 2 games in the Austin Regional. Checked her swing, and it's 1-1.
Good off-speed pitch there by Bennett, trying to work that 59-mile-per-hour changeup. Almost got Reese Atwood to take a cut at it.
Gets off the glove of the catcher, so the runners will advance. Henry to third, Scott to second.
Tough play for Costales to have to advance an additional 60 feet.
Atwood with runners in scoring position, as we mentioned before, has been outstanding. Count now 3-1. 463 with runners in scoring position. Fly ball. Conway took a couple of steps back. I don't blame her. Runner tagging from third. It'll be an RBI for Reese Atwood. That gives her 9 in the regional. And Texas is on top 15-4.
Atwood just misses on this swing, but she hits it deep enough to score Caden Henry easily from third base. Smart play by Janisa Conway in center field as well, not to just automatically come home with the throw, but instead throw it in the direction of third base to keep Mia Scott over at second.
I'll bring up Katie Stewart. Hit a home run measured at 269 feet in the second. Hit a home run measured at 269 feet in the third. Walked and scored in the fourth. And now they are positioned properly for Katie Stewart at the plate.
He might be standing about 270 feet there, just in case, to catch it before it hits the wall.
Well, he can't take a step back. So first step in, big swing by Stewart, 2-1. Popped up, shallow right field, fighting the sun. That's going to drop in. It's actually McVeigh at second base who went out. It was just a tough spot. Stevenson coming on, and it falls in. And a run scores for Texas, and they stretch it out to a 12-run lead.
Sometimes when that ball just gets caught in the right part of the sun, it's hard to read, and both of them are crashing on this fly ball. McVeigh going back, trying to use that hand to block the sun at the last minute. It looks like she heard Stevenson call her off. She turns back towards right field, but either way, that ball drops in there.
Strike one to Jolie Mitchell. Scored a double and an RBI for Stewart. 3 RBI today, 3 for 3, 3 runs scored. She's at second. Mitchell hit a grand slam her last time. That's fouled out of play. All right, it was in my blind spot, but by the reaction, I'm going to say that was a 5-star catch.
Yeah.
I can make that
standing
assumption.
ovation almost for that catch.
0-2. Texas has set a record here today. Put 10 on the board in 5 innings yesterday. They've upped it to 16 in 5 innings today, which is a new regional record for the Longhorns program.
I think what's been impressive, too, is the way that their offense has gotten it done in a variety of different ways. Of course, yes, we're going to talk about the 6 home runs that they've hit, but they've also laid down some bunts. They've had some smart base running, taking the extra base. Seems like the offense has been able to put everything together in this ballgame.
Mitchell can't get it, swung on a miss, and that will do it for Texas here in the 5th. Last chance for Michigan to keep this game going as we head to the bottom of the 5th. It out for the Longhorns.
We've seen her make a couple of appearances really in the past few weeks for the Longhorns. Well known for that changeup that she's going to bring in there. She will throw that off-speed pitch in any count.
The new catcher for the Horns, number 44, Katie Simmons.
Change behind the plate as Simmons goes from DP to catcher. There's that changeup for a strike. It's 1-1. Janisa Conway hit her 18th home run of the season. Her last time up, 1 for 2 today. And 1-2 the count.
We might see 4 changeups in a row out of the hand of Sophia Simpson right here. First 3 pitches have all been that off speed.
Misses for a ball. It's 2-2. Swung on and missed. Simpson gets the strikeout. 1 down here in the 5th.
That she's able to get on that changeup makes it look like it's coming in a lot harder than it actually is. The one thing about regionals too, if you're this Michigan Wolverines team, you have to have short-term memory. You have to be able to turn things around. You cannot dwell on the things that maybe went wrong in this ball game, because you got to turn around later today and compete again, and you're competing for your season.
2-0 to count to Puts. All right, take me through it. If this score doesn't change, Michigan loses, they got to come back and play after our next game between UCF and Eastern Illinois. What do the next few hours look like for the Wolverines?
Yeah, I think you're resting up as much as you can, probably finding some shade or some air conditioning to cool off just a bit. More looking at the pitching staff too, making sure that they're geared up and ready to go for that game later today. I'd imagine we'll still see that combination of Lauren Durkowski and Aaron Hain, who we didn't see in today's game. But with the season on the line, you're going to have all hands on deck. Everybody is going to be ready to go in that game later this evening. food is also important, making sure you refuel. You got to refuel.
That
after
goes
these
without
games.
saying,
Yes,
because
yes.
we're hungry.
Food,
hydration.
resting.
I'd say AC, because in the shade it's like 90 degrees here today. So you've got to find
Cool
AC.
down completely. Go find some air conditioning.
Simpson battling back. The count now full, 3-2 to Puts.
Coach Bonnie Thole taking a second to call time to talk to her freshmen. Saw Lauren Puts with that big swing yesterday to put them ahead of UCF. Guarantee that conversation's all about trying to figure out the timing, slow things down in the batter's box.
The 3-2. And it's a walk with one out here in the 5th inning. Michigan needs to score 5 runs to avoid a run rule loss against Texas as we play here in the 5th inning.
Right fielder, Ellis Stevenson.
Ellis Stevenson 0 for 2 today, a couple of strikeouts after going 2 for 3 with a home run yesterday. Take strike 1. Michigan will take on the winner of our next game between UCF and Eastern Illinois if they're unable to come back here against the Longhorns. 0-2. Tegan Cavan made her first start of the NCAA tournament, her first appearance of this year's tournament. Went 3 1/3. Simpson on now. Third pitcher used by Texas, trying to close it out. 2 outs now in the 5th.
See the depth on this pitch too. Right at the last minute when these batters are deciding to swing at it, it's dropping off of the table, so it comes in looking like it's going to stay right about thigh high and then drops down below the knees. Second strikeout of the inning for Simpson.
For Michigan now batting for Ava Cristales, number 3, Megan Beamer.
Megan Beamer will step in for the Wolverines. Beamer takes ball 1. Freshman getting a chance to participate here in the NCAA tournament. Her first at-bats. Comes with 2 down here in the 5th. Texas can sit back and watch the next 2 games here today as they get ready for a 1 o'clock Eastern time appearance in the regional final round in this double elimination tournament.
I'd imagine the offense feeling pretty good after this game with the home runs that left the ballpark. A couple more hits for Reese Atwood in this regional.
Fly ball, foul ground, making the run is Maloney, unable to get there. And if these Texas fans can muster the energy on this 90-plus degree day, they'll get on their feet and try to get Simpson and her teammates across the finish line as the Longhorns look for back-to-back run rule wins in the NCAA tournament. Swung on and missed. Simpson gets the strikeout to end the game, and the Longhorns have another run rule win.
The offense continues to be outstanding for the Texas Longhorns, top to bottom, whether it's bunts, whether it's sac flies, whether it's home runs. There is somebody different in the lineup coming through at different points in the game. No let up, 1 through 9 for the Texas Longhorns.
Their 24th win at home this season, 16 for the final in 5 innings. 6 home runs today by